last Mama June video, we talked about several things, like the fact that Jessica and Shyann announced that they have separated, and the fact that Trina is not Cheyenne's biological mom. I don't know if this was news to you guys, but this was complete news to me. I had no idea. I always thought they looked alike and that they're mother and daughter. And it sounds like they're related, but Trina announced that she ended up adopting Shyann when she was younger, and she kind of provided more context on the situation. So this is what Trina had to say. She said, "I adopted Shyann when she was very young. Over the years, she has tried to have a relationship with her birth mother, but unfortunately, there has never been much follow-through on the birth mom's part. Shyann was one of 3 out of 5 children who were placed for adoption. Her birth mom kept custody of her oldest and youngest, and she had her reasoning for letting them being adopted, and I've never judged her for that. How could I? She blessed me with Shyann. While there is a legal process that made Shyann my daughter, I've never once looked at her as anything less than that. She's my daughter in every way that matters. Love, commitment, and showing up every day are what make a family, not biology alone. I've also adopted my oldest granddaughter, Aubrey, who many know as Booga from the show. The younger boy is also my grandson, although there have never been an adoption. Harper is my youngest granddaughter, and she's been raised by Shyann, Jessie, and myself since she was a baby. I also have a son, another daughter, and 3 more grandchildren. I respect their privacy, and I do not share any of them publicly. Although we choose to allow parts of our family's life to be in the public eye because of Shyann and Jessie's relationship, the minor children in our family will always be protected by us. They did not choose this life, and their well-being will always come before public opinion, social media, or anyone else's curiosity. Shyann and Jessie had 4 good years together. Unfortunately, being in the public eye, coming from 2 very different backgrounds, and a few bad choices along the way created challenges that became too difficult to overcome. Marriage is supposed to be between 2 people, and the reality is that mistakes were made on both sides. Those mistakes ultimately became too much for the relationship to survive. It also didn't help that support seemed to come from only one side of the family from the very beginning. Even with that being said, I have nothing negative to say about the relationship or about Jessie's mother, June Shannon. Life is complicated, relationships are complicated, and everyone involved has their own perspective and struggles. My hope is simply that both Shyann and Jessie learn from this chapter, other lives, and that their future relationships are healthy, happy, and successful. Sometimes relationships end, but that doesn't mean the love and memories disappear. Jessie will always be a part of my family, and yes, we all still love her. Divorce, separation, and heartbreak may change the shape of a family, but they don't always erase the bonds. And like I said, Shyann is still currently living in the house that she got from Trina, and Jessica has moved back in with June at this time. So then she goes on to say, Jessie will always be a part of our family. This is what works best for me and my family. I wouldn't change a thing. The only thing I might do differently is adopt 100 more children if I could. While so many people spend their time worrying about who belongs to who, maybe they should spend more time helping the children who have nobody. Family isn't always about who gave you life. Sometimes it's about who stayed, who sacrificed, who loved unconditionally, and who never gave up on you. At the end of the day, I am proud of my family, proud of the children I have raised, and grateful for every single one of them. Love makes a family, and no matter what changes life brings, that is something I will always believe. And yes, I put this into ChatGPT to be sure it sounded nice and was spelled correctly, because some of y'all are ruthless. It sounds like Trina has engraved a lot of her values into Shyann, and that's why Shyann is so quick to be helpful. Like for Harper, for example, you know, that little girl Harper that we saw Jessica and Shyann taking care of, that wasn't even biologically Cheyenne's daughter. That was Cheyenne's sister's kid, but I guess her sister was unable to take care of the kid, so Shyann stepped up, and that's exactly what Trina did for Shyann. And so I'm assuming she did not exactly, I wish she would explain like what her relation was to Cheyenne's mom. I'm going to assume that she's Cheyenne's mom's sister or somewhat related to her, because Shyann and Trina still look a lot alike in my opinion. Like, I'm not going to lie, I was shocked when I found out that that wasn't her biological daughter, because to me they look and act the exact same. They have the same mannerisms, but I guess that just goes along when you're around someone for so long, you start to look like them. God bless Trina. At first I was like, I ain't so sure about this one, but anybody who's going to be raising multiple kids that's not even biologically theirs, and then not even only that, but you raised Shyann and then turn around and gifted her whole house whenever she decided to move in with her girlfriend. I mean, I hope that was legit, not just for a storyline, you know, because you never know what's true with this show. But I want to believe that it was true, especially considering the fact that Jesse said that Shyann is still living where they moved into from the show. And then Pumpkin came out after it came out that Jesse and Shyann had split. And I thought Pumpkin was about to spill the tea. I'm like, okay, girl, let me fill up my teacup and listen to what she got to say. Well, no. If you're waiting for Pumpkin to spill some tea on this situation, you're going to have to hold your breath, because all she came out and said was, yeah, guys, so Jesse and Shyann split up. I'm sure y'all have already heard. And yeah, I know you guys are wondering what I know. I don't know nothing. I know just as much as you guys. And she said she found out a day before the public found out. And for her, it's pretty much news to her. She didn't see this coming. It sounds like for a lot of family members like June and Pumpkin, this whole split came out of left field for everybody. And next I want to talk about a post I came across a few weeks ago. So someone posted this in a Facebook group and they said, tell us why Darrin is hanging out with the Johnstons. You know, the Johnstons from the TLC show, the little short people. They said, why is he hanging out with the Johnstons back in the day? Was he trying to date one of them or get on TV back then? Suspicious. And I'm not going to lie, when I saw this, I'm like, okay, Darrin must be the ultimate clout chaser. He tried to get with the Johnstons, and when that didn't work out, he pivoted and then got with Pumpkin so he could get on the show Mama June. But then come to find out, it sounds like it was more innocent than it really was. I guess apparently he wasn't hanging out with them. They were at this festival, and there was a pie eating contest, and somebody said he was one of the judges, but I saw another comment from a friend of Darrin's who said that he was an employee at this carnival or fair that they were at. So he was literally just in the background of one of their pictures. He didn't even know them at the time, and he did admit in one of the live streams that he did with Pumpkin that was indeed him in the picture. Some people were like, that's not Darrin. Yep, it's a younger, skinnier version of Darrin, and he has confirmed that that is 100% him. But yeah, he was just working, and it's just the fact of being around at the same place at the same time with them. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything that we talked about in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.